Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eerie Hour with Erich. For those who wish to hear tales of the strange, the macabre, and various urban legends, you have come to the right place. Tonight, join us around the fire as Erich reads a spine-tingling tale for your entertainment. Prepare to be scared, for this is Eerie Hour with Erich. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Erich.
Nos with da a Christo Eerie Hour with Erich. Foi nuiu Eerie Erich. Christo I gumpas etan we raidem en a drodstraien raifet a Erich ac amriwiol huel la trefol. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I've been brushing up on my Welsh lately because I figured this. We've done a tale from Ireland, we've done a tale from Scotland, and now let's do a tale from Wales. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's tale comes from an online source, walesonline.uk, and it is by Liam Garahan, and it is about his experiences at the Skirrid Mountain Inn. But first, I need my reading glasses. There we are. The Skirrid Mountain Inn. The Skirrid Mountain Inn is notorious for hauntings, and given its bloody history, it's easy to understand why. Dating back 900 years to the Norman era, the inn has seen countless brutal deaths. It was home to a courtroom presided by an evil judge who would send everyone who came before him to be hung. That's more than 180 criminals. Legend has it that it was Owen Glyndwr who used it as a base for the Welsh revolt against Henry IV of England, where he would rally the troops before raiding nearby settlements. Many wounded soldiers would return there after battle, some succumbing to their wounds. And then you have the brutal medieval kings who spent nights there, the prisoners who died in their cells, and the staff who never left. What a great place to spend a night on your own, when the thought of turning the light off in your own home is enough to get your pulse racing. Darkness had barely loomed over the Brecon beacons when I arrived at the inn, and it was already playing tricks on me. Having been welcomed by Jeff the landlord, I took my belongings up to my room, but it was on the stairs where I got my first fright of the night. A life-size model of a ghoul caught me off guard, and I knew that from that moment on I'd made the right decision not to wear any white. Heading back downstairs, you don't get the impression of a pub filled with haunts. The roaring Tudor fireplace burns strong, locals clink glasses, and the food is delicious. But this beautiful inn takes on a whole new atmosphere when the lights turn off and the patrons leave. Nirvana famously saying, "With the lights off, it's less dangerous." But I beg to differ. I've been strategically placed in room 2, the room with the most paranormal activity, at the mercy of the ghost of 35-year-old worker Fanny Price. Fanny died of consumption in the late 18th century, and she obviously loved the inn so much that she decided to never leave. I switched the lights off and tried to make contact with her, informing her that I was from Wales Online, despite knowing full well that she would have no idea what that was. My mind was running wild. I couldn't decide that if the knocks I was hearing were Fanny communicating, the old building creaking, or my imagination getting the better of me. I moved swiftly on to room 3. Stumbling down the creaky stairs into the room, my chest instantly tightened, and my breathing got heavier. Was this the hangman taunting me? Or was I just falling into the inn's history and creating problems for myself? Probably the latter, but the room itself gave me the heebie-jeebies. The history of Room 1 is especially interesting. The bathroom used to be a prison cell, and visitors have had a variety of paranormal experiences in the room, ranging from cold snaps to alleged attempted murders. There's no doubt that the room itself has an eerie feel to it. As strange as it is to say, the door opens especially easily compared to the others, almost as if you're being welcomed into the room. The bathroom is set over 2 levels, with stairs down to the bath, toilet, and sink, but I couldn't bring myself to venture any further. Almost instantly, I was overcome with chills. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up and the room went ice cold. As the coldness intensified and a breeze started to blow, I didn't care if it was all in my head or if the history of the Skirrid was toying with me. I got out of there as quickly as possible. Some visitors to the inn struggle to climb the stairs as they head towards their room, claiming that they find it difficult to breathe. They say that the landing is the territory of the hanging judge, Judge Jeffries, who still stalks the corridors hunting for a victim to send to the gallows. That could explain it. Despite the gruesome tales of convicted criminals hanging from the stairwell, this is where I felt the most at ease with my surroundings. Maybe they weren't so bad after all. I called out to the judge and told him that I was not afraid of him, laying the bait, but he didn't bite, and he stayed in the shadows. Directly off of the landing is the prison cell, which now keeps the boiler and other bits and bobs captive. The hum of the equipment made it hard to hear any potential signs of the supernatural, but it did feel as if I was being watched, or maybe even snuck up on. Another quick exit was on the cards. The pub. This is where the rowdy soldiers would return bloodied from battle to drink, dance, and die. And when you're alone at night, it's not difficult to imagine the majority of them surrounding you, drinking long into the night. But the once ferocious atmosphere disappears as darkness sets, with the empty room taking a charming yet spooky turn. The warmth of the burnt-out Tudor fireplace still lingers, but it is not enough to distract you from the chills that slowly engulf you, and the almost crippling sensation that you're being watched. Many lonely, ghostly figures have been spotted in this room over the years, as well as the sound of lute music, soldiers' footsteps, and even the smell of lavender as Fanny comes to join the party, her dress heard rustling on the floor. The gents' toilets, which were creepy enough in daylight, felt off limits. I couldn't approach the door without the inn giving me a foreboding warning not to enter with the feeling of 100 pairs of eyes on me. I decided it was best left alone. As the chills set in, I was given what could have been a goodnight message from the past as I heard footsteps quickly getting closer and closer. Naturally, being the intrepid and fearless ghost hunter that I am, I ran back to the safety of the light and the landing. It's easy to see why this place is known as the most haunted building in Wales. History grabs at you as you walk the corridors. It breathes down your neck as you sit on the toilet. It chases after you as you drink in the pub. But how much of this is psychological? How much did I let the Skirrid control me and lure me to new places, only to scare me straight out again? I took overnight residency with an open mind. Naturally, I'm a skeptic, but I have learned to trust my senses over tales of yesteryear, and whether I imagined it or not, it was obvious that I wasn't alone as I first thought. As I put my head down to sleep, with the light on, I add, who knows who was dancing around me during the night? Whether you're a believer or not, the beautiful Skirrid Mountain Inn will test you and whisper stories of its ghoulish past. Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you have spent the night in the Skirrid Mountain Inn? Or would you have run for the hills at the first sign of a ghost? And speaking of which, I must be off. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Eerie Hour with Eric. If you liked it, please hit that like button, and also hit the subscribe button, and click the notification bell so that you'll receive all the latest updates from the Eerie Hour with Erich channel. Also, please feel free to share this video with your friends, your family, your co-workers, and anyone else whom you interact with on a daily basis. And as always, don't forget to like us on both Facebook and Instagram. But before I go, my friends, as I always say, dreams can become reality. But at the same time, dreams can also become nightmares. But can nightmares become reality? Well then, you be the judge. Tune in to the next episode of Eerie Hour with Erich, if you dare.